Thank you so much for having me here. Yeah, it's a bit scary to show live a tool that we have built, so let's see how that works out. But first introduce ourselves a little bit further. So Textgain is a spin-off of the University of Antwerp, the computer science department over there. It's really what we do within Europe mostly, is detecting hate speech, disinformation, extreme voices. We work together with ministries, with law enforcement organizations, with civil society, with policymakers. So it's a very sort of broad sharing of knowledge that we do. So we're most of all in the societal and security domain. So at that work we try to help out with all our AI tooling. Just the components of the work that we do. So this is actually the work. We just built a large language model that is really detecting hate speech and disinformation, solely doing that. It's based on all the 24 working languages of Europe, and it's made with expert knowledge a lot. I will tell you a bit about that later. We also have this threat detection that we look into, jihadist content, violent extremism, also how that's integrated in EU rhetorics, and web crawling. We do more than 15 platforms where we gather data from containing disinformation, hate speech, etc. Incident monitoring is also something that we work on with law enforcement. They are gathering all information on, for instance, firearms incidents in Europe. But what they do, they gather that in all the different countries in different ways. So they ask us to do that on basis on news. So what sort of news items are there on firearms incidents? So it gives an overview and another perspective, so to say. Threat analysis, of course, with summarizations, and OSINT work. We make some OSINT tools specifically for LEAs. The European Observatory of Online Hate Dashboard I will show you in a bit. It's actually something that we saw that commercial models don't do the hate speech that well. So this is also an opportunity to go into hate speech a little bit more deeper. And it's really fully integrated in the GDPR kind of frameworks, etc., that Europe offers, and AI Act, etc. So we're now finalizing this phase of the project. We do this partnering up with VPN as one of the partners, Dare to be Grey and Jugendstiftung. So there is also a multi-stakeholder approach. And we're now in the final stage, so we are looking ways to sort of continuing this project with funding from all kinds of civil society, law enforcement organizations that are still working with the system. This is a bit how it works. So we have the human in the loop. It's mentioned a lot already. So experts of all the different languages. So they are based in the language, are expert in the context of their language. They fill in a lexicon. A very simple thing, actually, scoring toxicity from level 0 to 4, and then it helps us to gather that information and put that in a what you see below in a comment. So there, a comment is sort of showing what kind of categories of hate there is mentioned. Our toxicity AI is modeling with a machine learning, so we have different kinds of that. One of the ones that I like to show is the threat to life detection. That's a model that we've built and are really fine-grained in at the moment, and the calls to actions. So I think that's also for this domain very interesting. So this is a sort of the dashboard output overview. If we use the dashboard, you can see law enforcement uses it for looking into key figures in campaigns. Some other civil society organizations are looking into it in inauthentic behavior and coordinated behavior that you can find. So you see that you can use it at all different ways. So, but let's go live to it. I think we have to switch then from... It's already there. Great, thank you. So this is the dashboard as it is right now. You can see it has 6 baseline channels. So that's the bigger topics that we see in Europe as it goes on hate speech. Anti-Semitism, anti-Muslim, anti-refugees, migrants, Roma, anti-LGBTQ+, and sexism. Misogyny was also spoken a lot on today. And if you go into, for instance, the anti-refugees channel, you can see you come to this all these different categories, and you see them in the colorful way, so you can know an image or a comment is about that kind of things. If you see a translation or a language that you don't know, you can translate it. This is done by our own LLM at the moment. Maybe for the Arabic speakers, we can learn also a little bit from you. And it has all kinds of filters. So what it does is now it's filtered on date, just a few days. Then you have the popularity, is it used and interacted much with. The platforms, these are the platforms that we have now in this system. Reddit, X, 4chan, Gap, Telegram, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, 9gag, Threads, and Blue Sky. But we follow, of course, all kinds of different sources also, and can integrate that if a client asks for that. What you see here is you see the mainstream, the flops, so they say in Europe, mainstream platforms, but also very fringe platforms. That's important to mention because we also give the opportunity that you can follow some comments or some keywords over different platforms. Then you have, of course, all the languages. So we have also included Arabic in our dashboard because it's a very much spoken language in Europe. Also have Russian in it, Turkish, some other languages that are outside of Europe because we thought it's relevant. But all the languages are there, so this is based on more than 250,000 keywords that are scored by experts of all the different country languages. So it's really based on what they know about these hate speech, disinformation topics. What we have is at every channel, you can see this as a channel, so every thing that you want to find out, we call that a channel, and we make summaries out of it. So it's very sort of an overview insight that you can see here, for instance. This is just over a few days, more than 11,000 posts in it. Average of toxicity is 0.24. But what you can see is about 45% of the toxic messages contain violent language. Just some things that you then can look into. And then what we have built into this is that you have a community tab. This is really a project where we want to align and bring together law enforcement and civil society. We brought them together, and VPN helped us with that in all different occasions in person, and talk about these topics, but also giving them the opportunity online in the dashboard to work with each other's channels. So people can make a copy out of the channel and follow it for themselves, modify it to their own needs even, but also can see what other people are doing. So it's just some examples of what's going on at the moment. There are now more than 270 users of the dashboard, around 75 LEA and the rest civil society mostly. Yeah, if you go from there, you can also go to your own channels. You can create your own channels. Just an example, Andrew Tate, for instance. What you can do, you can score also on toxicity. You want to see if the toxicity is high and want to look into that. And then you have also charts. So you can look into the toxicity levels, but also the counts. So you see there was a peak. So there was something going on the 21st of December around Andrew Tate 25. And then you can look into that peak and see what's in there and what's going on, etc. So it gives you a very dynamic, intuitive way of showing what you can do with the dashboard. If you see a strange word that you don't know, just make an example. It can be added to the lexicon. So again, then annotators or experts from different countries can look at it and score it again. So you also have these new words coming in at that way. If you go you can pin it if you think, well, I need to make sure that I don't forget the pinned post. Sorry, it's taking a while. Then it gives you the opportunity to bring that all together. And because we build this also to follow up with the Digital Services Act in Europe, so we give the opportunity that people can also report. If they report to a platform, they still have to do that physically. That was a question, or that was asked by the civil society organization, that they could do that in their own name. So they can do that in their own name. They go to the platform, they pinpoint and report one of those comments, and then they can follow it in the dashboard, see if it's removed, yes or no. So you have a sort of an overview of all your comments that you're interested in, see if it's removed, yes or no. You can add sources yourself. So it's, I think, really related to a lot of things that was discussed today. It's the human in the loop. Here are experts involved, multi-stakeholder approach. I think very intuitive to see what you need and go for that. So just leave it here. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.